We've got a number of raving fans who have shared lots of comments, and Matthew is one of those. And Matthew is a psychologist who has shared many comments. One of his very first emails to us, the first feedback that he gave us, and I'm going to read this from my screen because I want to get it right, but this was something that Matthew said when he said, I think the thing that sticks out to me most about the whole thing is that it's nice to see regular, everyday men of our relative vintage, I love how he worded that, who are talking about feelings, yes, plural. That made me laugh when one of you pointed out that there's more than just rage available to us as fellas, in a non-cringy way. I would like to mandate, and this was powerful. I would like to mandate that young men who grow up in relatively individualistic culture listen to you guys.
That is so powerful. For him to say, I would like to mandate, I'd like to make this sort of table stakes that young men growing up, I think part of what really fires me up, and we know that this show is not a male-only show. Even from the get-go, we've had a very strong female audience, and that'll only continue to grow with Kate and Wendy participating. But part of what fires me up is that we are providing a safe place for men to shed some of that toxic masculinity that we are all raised on, where it's not okay to talk about your feelings. It's not okay to talk about what's going on. It's not okay to show weakness. And so we end up building this false bravado, this false front. And I think there's a ton of men out there, and you may be listening right now, and you're dying on the inside as a result. You may be successful, you may be achieving your goals, but there's something deep down that's really missing. It's because you can't access it. You haven't been trained on how to access the realms of your heart and your emotional life and your passions and desires in a way that is freeing.
And it's not an either or. And Matthew points this out about breaking the stereotype. We love off-roading. We love cigars and whiskey, and we love manly things, right? I don't know, whatever that means, right? We're into sports, and we're into all of these things that are the stereotype. We also love being vulnerable. And we embrace the notion that you can connect with other men, that you can cry together, you can cheer together, you can grow together. And one is not separate from the other, that you can be both. And that's, I think, one of the most powerful things that we've been communicating over these times.
I think this whole notion, this whole falsehood of the strong and silent type that we've all been raised, that's what a good boy does. That's what a good man does, the strong and silent type. And I think it's Elizabeth Lesser in her book, Cassandra Speaks. She says it's time to start advocating for a brave and open type of masculinity as opposed to strong and silent. And I think of how far we've come. I think of how far I've come to watch your growth in all of this. I can't possibly imagine going backwards and to that place where you feel limited, you feel capped, you feel like you have to be somebody that you're not, to experience the freedom that the Living Richly message brings and that it embodies has been absolutely amazing.